So we are going to do a Hatha class, and based on the third eye. So Hatha, we hold our positions a little bit more, longer than a flow class. There will be some flow movement throughout it, but we really want to focus when we're holding the pose, really connecting the pose with our breath. So if you find you're holding your breath at any point, come back into at the moment by counting your breath, using your intention, your mantra, whatever it may be. But we will start laying down on our backs. Allowing your legs to either come right onto the mat extended. Sorry if my dog makes some noise. Or you can have your knees bent, knees supporting each other. Closing your eyes, starting to touch into our bodies, noticing how we're feeling in this moment. Paying attention to your breath, just being curious on the different qualities that you notice. As we lay here, maybe taking your vision and looking up towards your forehead. This is where our third eye rests. So when we direct our gaze up there behind our eyes with our eyes closed, just focusing our energy, being open to receive any information, any guidance. Creating that bond between our intuition and our body, being open to receive. Take a few more deep breaths here, inhaling, allowing the body to rise away from the back body. Exhale, letting it fall back. Do a couple more breaths like that. With each breath, allowing it to be a little bit longer, a little bit softer. If your legs are bent, bringing them back onto the earth, extending the legs out. We're going to bring the arms overhead, interlacing our fingers. We can release our index finger coming into a Kali Mudra. Then we're going to take our lower body, our extremities, over to the left side of the mat, followed by the right or the upper body. So we're creating a banana shape here. Inhaling here. And exhale. Really tapping into that inner witness, just noticing how we're moving, how we're reacting to every movement. Not to change anything, just really cultivating that inner witness, which is what we want when we are practicing yoga and really off our mat in any moment. Because when we create that sense of a witness, we allow ourselves space to understand what we're doing in any given moment. Are we reacting or are we responding? And how we're responding, is this the way we want to respond? Let's take one more inhale here. And then coming back to center, starting with your upper body, followed by your lower body. And we'll come over to the other side. So moving the feet first over to the right side, followed by the upper body. Changing the direction of your grasp. Still letting the index fingers be released. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, bringing it back into center. Releasing your hands, bring your knees up into your chest. Bring your hands around to hold under our knees. You can rock back and forth. side to side, taking some circular movements, finding whatever movement feels good for you right now. And we'll extend the legs up into the sky, bending one and then the other like we're riding a very slow bicycle. And then we'll bring the feet back down to the earth, bringing them closer to our glutes. We'll inhale, lifting the hips up, opening through the chest, exhale down. Do that a couple times. Inhale up and down. Inhale up and down. One more time. And down. We're going to turn onto our side. Coming all the way over onto our knees, coming into table. So your knees are under your hips, hands are under your shoulder. We'll inhale, rounding our spine. Exhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chin. Using your breath to guide the movement. And then we'll come back to a flat back. We're going to extend the hands out in front of us, just about another hand length. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips, extending the hips up to the sky to your downward facing dog. You can take a moment here, alternating, pedaling the feet. And coming to stillness, we're going to hold this pose for a few moments. Closing your eyes, tuning into your body, noticing your breath. If you have sore wrists, you feel free to come all the way onto your forearms into a dolphin pose. Take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly walking your feet up towards your hands. Coming to your forward fold. While you're in your forward fold, you can either have your hands on the earth or on your legs or holding onto opposite elbows. Inhale, bringing your hands to your legs, slowly walking yourself up with your hands, coming to stand, opening your palms to the front of the room, coming into our mountain. We'll be here for a few moments, so really feeling the active parts of this pose. So your feet are pushing into the earth, your legs are active, glutes controlled here. Chin slightly tucked in, creating length through your neck. Once again, maybe bringing your sight with your eyes closed up to your forehead. Take one more breath here. And we'll inhale, hands overhead. Exhale as you bring them down to along your side. We'll step back with that right foot so it's on a 45-degree angle. Inhale, hands up overhead into our warrior one. You can have your hands up to the sky, or you can bring your hands into eagle arm. So bringing the right arm underneath to come into a twist, and then bringing that left thumb and placing it on the third eye, so in the middle of the forehead. Lifting the elbows away from the chest, making sure you have a nice rich bend in that front knee. Inhaling here. Settling into this posture. Breathing. Noticing how you're feeling while we're here. Let's take 2 more breaths here. I can unwind the arms, bringing them back up overhead, and then opening up to your warrior 2. So the back toes can either stay still at the 45 or come to a 90 degree. Arms parallel the earth. Inhale here, settling in with the breath. Making sure you still have a nice rich bend in that knee, it's not collapsing in. Let's take 2 more breaths here. We'll rotate our upper body towards that front foot, turn the back toes to face the front. We'll step that back foot in just a little bit, straightening the front leg, hands on hips, engaging through our core, pushing the hips out, coming to our pyramid pose. Feel free to use a block here to give you a bit of more support, or you can use your leg or have your hands on the earth. Once again, we'll be here for a few rounds of breath, so really settling in, noticing how you are from moment to moment. Going to take 2 more breaths here. And then we'll bend into that front knee just a little bit, placing the hands in front of that foot, engaging through the glutes, keeping the hips in line with each other, then lifting that back leg and straightening the front leg as much as you're able to, coming into a warrior C. The back foot should be flexed so the toes are facing the earth. Making sure that we're not rolling through that right hip, so keeping the hip facing the earth. You can stay here with the hands on the earth or challenge yourself by bringing your arms up into a balance. If you fall out, no worries. Just working with your edge, noticing what feels good, what doesn't, what challenges you, what doesn't. Take 2 more breaths here. And then we'll bring that front back foot to meet the front foot and exhaling into your forward fold again. Walking your hands up your legs, coming to stand. Taking a moment, just a moment in your mountain. And we'll bring our hands to heart center, bending into our knees. We're gonna lift that right leg up, crossing over the left. You can either have it keeping it crossed, or you can try to bring that toe to wrap around. Once you've found balance, we're gonna take that left arm underneath the right, coming into our eagle arms. And if this is too much, having the toes not touching the earth, you can just touch the toes to the earth, giving yourself a little bit more sense of balance. Keeping your core strong, glutes strong, noticing the energy moving through the legs, shaking, making sure that the elbows are lifting away from the chest, so we're opening through the back body. Once again, maybe even bringing the thumb on the left hand to the forehead. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Unwinding, releasing the hands and legs. Inhale, hands up. Maybe take a little back bend. And then coming back to stand. We're going to now step back with the left foot on 45-degree angle. Coming to our warrior one. Hands up by the ears. Just a moment. Allowing the sternum to face the front of the mat. The hips might open up a little bit more, but they don't have to. We don't want to torque them by any means. From here, we'll take that left hand once again underneath, coming into eagle arms, bringing the right thumb now to the forehead. Making sure that we're pushing with both feet. We're not just leaning towards the front. We want equal pressure in both feet. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Unwind the arms, bringing the hands back overhead, and then opening up to our warrior two. Palms to the sky, knee nice and strong, rich bend in it. And checking with both arms that they're parallel. If your mind is beginning to wander as we continue to take slow movements, just bring it back by counting your breath. Maybe an inhale for 3, hold for 3, exhale for 3, hold for 3. Continuing this box breath, you can always increase the breath to 4, 5. We're going to take 2 more breaths here in our warrior two. We're going to bring our hands to heart center, rotating our upper body to the front, bringing the toes to face the front, maybe taking a little step forward with that back foot. We'll bring our hips into alignment, so hands on hips, making sure they're in line with each other, and then engaging through our core and our glutes as we fold forward. If your eyes are closed, you'll always have the option to turn the vision towards the third eye, seeing if you can notice anything
coming into your third eye, whether colors, forms, or if it's just black, that's okay too. We're not all visual people. We don't all have the ability to see certain colors, or some people do. So it's just focus on what you feel here. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Then we'll bend a little bit into that front knee, engaging through our glutes, lifting that back leg up, coming into our warrior C. Once again, you're welcome to bring the hands up to balance here, or just focus on the alignment through our hips. Extending the spine long, so not having the head bent down, looking down at the ground, but strong, straight spine. Let's do 2 more breaths here. And then bringing that back foot down to meet the front, taking a moment in our forward fold. Once again, walking our hands up our legs to stand, taking a beat in our mountain pose, coming back into our breath. We're going to come into our eagle pose on this side, so shifting our weight onto that right side, lifting that leg up, the left leg up and over to cross, whether the toes touching the ground, or coming into a full bind. And then we'll take the right hand underneath, wrapping around, bringing that left thumb to the forehead. Inhale here, 2 more breaths. Not rushing the breath, just taking your time. And then you can unwind the legs and arms. Inhale, hands up, little back bend here. Hands to heart center. We'll step back once again with the left leg. Coming into a wide stance, turning the toes to face the long edge of the mat. Hands on the hips. Inhaling, allowing the hips to move away to the opposite side of the mat. Hands onto the earth. You can widen the distance between your legs if you need to. You can either hold on to opposite ankles or reaching towards the back of the mat. Maybe you can even bring your forehead all the way down to the mat or onto a block. Two more breaths here. Exhale, we're going to walk the feet or hands towards the left side of the foot, or the left foot, turning that toe to meet the short edge of the mat, and stepping back into plank. Inhale here, exhale to lower. I'm going to come up to a baby cobra, so forearms on the earth, allowing the chest to come through the upper arms, keeping your gaze just past your fingertips. You can stay in your baby cobra. If you want to come into the full cobra, you'll move your hands down towards your lower ribs, extending the arms up into our cobra. inhale here, coming back to our child's pose. You can have your knees wide or knees together, letting toes touch. Coming to our breath. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then walking our hands back towards our knees. We're going to come into a camel pose. This can be pretty intense to the lower back, so listening to your own body. If you don't want to come to the full variation, then you can just come to the modified, which I'll also begin with. So I like to tuck my toes underneath because it gives me a little bit more availability. But if you have, if that's too sore on your toes, you can keep them flat. So from here to begin, we'll bring our hands to our lower back, fingers facing down. We're going to allow the pelvis and the hips to move in a forward motion as our head and our neck extend in the opposite direction. So hands on the lower back, feeling the hips move forward, the neck and the head move back. This is your modified version, so just staying here. Or if you're comfortable, reaching back to hold on to your feet. Take 2 more breaths here. And then bringing your hands back to your lower back, coming back up to neutral. And we're going to tuck the toes under if they weren't already. Bring your hands in front of you. We're going to come up onto our toes, coming into a mala squat. We're going to come into a crow position. If you want to just practice this, you're just going to do toe taps. So we want up on our toes to give us a little bit more availability. Your hands are in front of you. We're going to be pushing into the hands. To begin, it's easiest to allow the knees to be resting on the outer edges of the upper arms. As you advance, you might be able to get the knees right into the underarms, but that comes with balance and practice. So from here, we're going to be leaning forward, pressing into the upper arms. Just pick one foot up, then place it down, then the other, and down. Don't look right down at your hands, look forward. That will give you a bit of balance. Maybe bringing both feet up off the earth. Coming out when you need to. Just have a few more breaths if you're still there. And then coming back to mala. We'll just take a moment in our mala. So our yogi squat. And then we'll bring our hands behind us, coming to a seated position. Allowing the legs to extend, keeping the toes active so they're flexed. Sitting up nice and tall, gauging through our core, allowing ourselves to fold at the hinge at the hips, to fold forward. When you can't go anymore, then maybe finding a little bit more rounded movement through the spine. Continuing to breathe, noticing our body here. So 2 more breaths here. And then slowly come to a neutral spine. We're going to come all the way onto our backs. We're going to come into an inversion. First option We'll have our feet close to our glutes, coming into our bridge. So as you lift the hips up, you're rolling onto your shoulders. You might even feel good about bringing your arms underneath, interlacing the fingers, getting a little bit more openness. This is your first option for your inversion. We're going to be here an extended amount of time, so taking the variation that feels good. If that feels good, you want to come a little bit more, you may find that you can come up into your shoulder stand, or if you practice plow, bringing the legs, maybe they won't reach the earth, but back towards the opposite wall. Wherever you are, just breathing here. Plow can be pretty intense on the neck, so just being mindful of any neck injuries, as long as you're not having any pain. And coming back into your breath. Inversions are so great for our mental health, our brain health, and our body cannot differentiate between an intense inversion such as this or just a bridge. So trying to add some form of inversion in your daily practice is very beneficial in many different ways. A few more breaths here, 3 more. Slowly allowing yourself to roll back down onto the earth. Taking a moment, once your spine has found the earth, breathing deeply, allowing the body to settle before we take any more movements. Once you feel ready, we'll just begin to windshield wiper the legs, just back and forth, nice and slowly. Then we'll allow the legs to land on the left side in a stacked position, opening your arms into a T or cactus and turning to the opposite hand to gently either have closed eyes or just a gentle gaze, depending on your preference. Coming back into your breath, noticing the breath now, how it's changed from the beginning of your practice. Let's take one more inhale here. And then we'll bring the legs back up into center and over to the other side, switching the direction of your gaze. One more inhale here. Exhale, bring the legs back up into center. We're going to lift the knees up towards our chest, soles of the feet up towards the sky, and holding onto the soles of our feet, coming into happy baby. Trying to let any tension in our back that still remains, allowing it to melt away with each breath. Maybe visualizing with every inhale, gold light moving right down to any areas that are holding any tension. And with every exhale, allowing that tension to be released with our breath. Take one more inhale here. And then releasing your feet, coming into our Shavasana. We'll only be here on video for a couple of minutes, but if you're really being guided to take a longer Shavasana, I definitely recommend it, because when we work with the third eye chakra, it is all about being able to slow down and connect with ourselves. So you can always turn the video off at this point and just take as much time as you need. Otherwise, just coming into our Shavasana, allowing our palms to face the sky, toes to open up towards the corner of the mats. Taking a little bit more space if you need to. Closing our eyes, maybe once again moving our vision towards the forehead. Beginning to scan our body from the top of our head all the way down to our toes. Slowly inquiring how we're feeling, how the body reacted, responded to the practice. Noticing how the breath has changed, if it has. Let's take 3 more breaths here. You can begin to bring movements back into your fingers and your toes, allowing the movement to grow. Keep your eyes closed for as long as you're able to, focusing on the sensations of the movement. Eventually making your way over to your favorite side, taking a moment, gratitude, bringing something to mind that you're grateful for. And as you're ready, pushing yourself up to a seated posture to close the practice. We'll bring our hands into prayer position. We'll bring the thumbs to our forehead. We'll inhale here and exhale. Let's do one more full round of breath with one more inhale to chant. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide your practice. I hope you enjoyed this Hatha class, and I look forward to seeing you in the next class. Have a great day.